All right. Here we are. We just watched episode 2.
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
And boy, was it hard.
Was it? How hard?
What was it?
All right. So in this video, we've got a few things that we both liked and some things that we did not like. So we're going to run through them and give you our opinions on episode 2 of Hard Knocks.
Yes.
With the Jets.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything to start us with?
Well, I guess I'll start with things I personally do not like, and that are mentalists and magicians, and I just don't like team building activities.
Yeah.
I guess having to have sat through some questionable things. I think most people have.
Okay. There's a cat.
He's not in frame.
He's not in frame, but he's a pain in...
So, yes. I mean, I'm glad that they seemed entertained by that man. And it's nothing personal. It's just, it's not something I enjoy. And even when he was touching, I also don't like being touched by people I don't know without being asked.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's...
So they started off with a team meeting where they brought in a mentalist. He's a professional, guy that's supposed to trick you.
Well, I don't trick you. I think just impress you with his power of deduction, which I know it's like, oh, think of a number. Oh, I know what number you're thinking of. And
he can look in your eyes and tell what number you're thinking of. And so he did a few of those. And
I guess having to have gone through team building activities, personally, I just don't like them, and I'd rather get down to work. Mm-hmm. I'd rather be out doing stuff productively instead of getting to know this man and what my teammates' numbers are. I'll find that out during lunch, when we're talking and eating together. But they were joyous.
Yeah.
So they enjoyed it. So that was one thing I did not like.
Okay, one thing you did not like. What's one thing that you did like from this episode?
What did I like? I liked, I'm not sure there was anything. I liked the very end.
The very end?
I liked the end when they were having cinema Sundays and they're educating all the youngins on Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen.
Which out of all people, that's not who I expected them to. But I'm glad.
Yeah, that was great.
He's the peak of comedy.
That's all you liked of the whole episode?
I mean, if we're going by, there's things I thought were interesting, but I don't have a like or dislike to them. And
all right.
Yeah.
I'll name something that I liked. I liked seeing the coach encourage, not necessarily fighting, but there was a few fights in practice early on. Between the offense and the defense. And I wouldn't say that the coach was encouraging it, but he wasn't mad that it was happening,
Yeah.
He was like, these guys need to be competitive. They need to fight, and this is what's going to happen. So I think it's just a normal part of the process in training camp, and it was good to see. Yeah.
I definitely felt this episode was not as optimistic as the first one.
There's some cracks.
More tension.
Yeah, there's some cracks in the armor. Yeah, for sure. I think the first one was kind of like we're building up the season, and here's why you need to watch Hard Knocks. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Now, one thing that I did not like, and you and I both agree on this, is the piercing.
I just don't need to see the needle going in. I don't care if we're with him at the shop and watching him shop for I want this one, I want that one. That I don't mind. I'm fine with that. I just don't need to see the needle going through, which they were showing.
Yeah, so one of the players wants to go and get a bunch of piercings in his face, and the cameras go right in there with him, and they're zooming in on his face getting pierced.
Yeah, I'd rather see him pick out the studs and rings than watch them be put in.
Yeah.
That's
not cool. So that was a negative.
Yes.
All right. What's next that you got?
Well, I was interested in. We saw the owner again, Woody,
mm-hmm.
and then I started thinking about how having Hard Knocks there brings more random people in who wouldn't normally
Right,
be there.
right.
Just because they're like, I want to show that I'm involved.
Yeah. I'm going to stand next to this guy because I know he's going to be on camera a lot.
And so, I mean, I know it's going to bring some people they're just going to behave differently anyway because there's cameras and there's people watching. And
yeah. Yeah.
So that's just something I was curious about.
I like the joint practice with the Panthers.
Keep pounding.
Ugh. I enjoyed watching the coaches get together and kind of talk about how their year's already going.
Yeah.
Including, we got to see Frank Wright, who used to be the coach at the Colts.
Oh, okay. Was that the guy who was telling like, you need to be losing weight?
No.
Okay.
Frank Wright's pretty tall and skinny. So Frank Wright was the coach of the Indianapolis Colts, and he was on Hard Knocks, and they just had a terrible, terrible season, and he got fired at the end of that year, and he was replaced by Jeff Saturday, one of your favorite players.
Mm-hmm.
He only was the coach for 1 year. Anyways, it was kind of interesting to see him back in the coaching job, and I just enjoy watching the coaches, take off the gloves and just admit that they are two professionals doing a job. And how are your guys doing? How are your guys doing? That kind of thing. That was good.
Yes, there was something else I did like when Rogers was talking to the referees about about the sweaty balls. And getting the balls wiped off because it was a really hot day, and so the balls are sweaty. And so I appreciated the refs being approached on this topic.
And the head ref was like, "Well, a towel. We'll see if we got one." Aaron's like, "Well, we'll get you."
Yeah, we'll provide the towels if somebody can provide the ball sweat muscle.
Because there is a one of the umpires' job is to put the ball down and make sure that it's good to go before the next play, so he could be the guy to towel it off.
Yeah, it's good toweling.
So one other thing that I really enjoyed was the O-line was having some trouble in camp or in the joint practice, and they were having some difficulty. And the next day or later that night, coach really got in their ass about it, and I think it woke some people up. That was good to see.
Interesting. I'm gonna just sound very hateful.
Oh.
Something else I did not like.
Okay.
Can you guess what it was?
No.
The Rookie Show.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Another team building kind of activity, which I would hate. And whatever the introduction thing was with the
dance move.
Yes. Yeah. Whatever that was. And then playing a Kahoot. That is fun. But I think whoever made that Kahoot did it wrong.
That's the game.
That game they were playing.
Yeah,
you played in school most of the time, but they kind of it was too broad, and it's way more fun when it's just.
Also, they didn't turn the house lights off for that, so you could barely see half the screen. So I'm sure it was frustrating to see. Yeah, they put way too much work into that.
I guess you can tell what kind of teammate I am. I'm not a team player.
I don't think if you're a professional, you don't need that kind of crap. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are just sitting there going like, the cameras are on, so we got to put up with this. So it was fun to watch Will McDonald. He's a rookie, and he's on the defense, and he got some sacks. He got some sacks in the preseason game, but also in the practice. So he was doing good. That was fun to see. Quinlan Williams also, he was mic'd up. He was a lot of fun early on.
Yes.
He was talking
in the beginning
about everybody that he was going to do a shout out to.
Yes, those shout outs were fun.
Mm-hmm. So all in all, I thought it was a good episode.
I we got some more insight into it. We got insight into Rogers a little bit with his play fakes.
Oh,
and watching them try to guess if it was a run or a pass. That was interesting.
They quizzed the quarterbacks on how he's setting up the ball. Is this play going to be a pass or is it going to be a run?
Yeah.
And he's faking them out. That was good.
last week, and they even played it in the, what would you call it, the sting at the beginning, reviewing last week how they played that clip of the throw being sexy.
Oh, yeah.
And then I noticed they talked about intimacy a lot this time. And it just hit me as football is just like the other woman. Is what is, and I also started thinking about Master and Commander, how the ship is like is personified as a woman. And,
yeah, the captain's married to the ship.
Yes,
yeah,
she's in her prime.
Oh,
all that. So,
woof bow, lovely lines.
Yeah.
She's a fine seabird.
Yes. They should watch that movie next week.
Everyone should watch Master and Commander.
Yes. Yes, and they talk about being dominant.
Yes.
Showing their dominance on the field against the Panthers.
You love the language of football, don't you?
There's a sexuality to it, which I mentioned last week. So,
everybody watches for their own reasons.
Well, I'm not saying it is sexy. It's just interesting that the players have intimacy with the game.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
Yes.
Well, one last thing that I think we need to do more of on Hard Knocks is setting us up a little bit more for the storylines that are going to develop near the end of the show, because they're going to have to start showing that competition between. There's only 3 guys that can be in this position, but we got 8 of them. So who's going to get cut? Because somebody's going to get cut.
Yes. I was thinking about the cuts, and I was wondering about when they're picked up, are they getting paid? And so then when they're fired, do they get what's going on?
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities.
With contracts, I guess.
Yeah, if a team cuts you, then they have no more responsibility for you as a player and to pay you. I think it depends on the contract, but usually those rookie guys and the guys that aren't really signed to big contracts, they can get cut, but then another team can pick them up. You know, their agent's going to be on the phone right away trying to get them a slot on another team, and that's why it's so important that even if you're kind of stacked in your room and you know that you're maybe can't get on this team, you should still try to do really well so that everyone else in the league can see you. There's also the practice squad.
Yes.
Practice squad guys make decent money, like 6-figure income.
Yeah.
Know? Yeah. So it's not too bad of a deal. Yeah. Didn't you have breaking news for us too?
Yes, I found out that footballs did used to be made out of like pig bladders and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And okay, go ahead.
Well, yes, and then the other breaking news.
We don't have to get into it.
I don't think we should.
Okay. Well, that's a good.
That would be its own thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching another episode of Hard Knocks with me and doing another review. Yes. This is always fun.
It is fun to knock hard. Yeah.
Knock hard.
Yeah.
Hey. Actually, I put that title on the thumbnail of the last week's show. Knock Hard, episode 1.
All right. Wow.
Great minds think alike.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We appreciate you.